Hey, it's Warren Whitlock here with another Emerging Technology with Warren episode. Today, how agents talking to each other make your life even better than AI will by itself. This is an important topic, an important thing happening, and it has something that sounds pretty boring. It's called MCP, Management Control Protocol, and I'd like to tell you how that emerging technology is really going to help. Emerging Technology with Warren, our weekly podcast, to help explain things that are happening, that are coming, and that are here now, and how it can improve your business, your career, and your life. How to actually do something with the technology that's coming. Today, we're talking about MCP. It's a language written to help AIs talk to each other. It's already possible. I'm sure you've seen where there's news of one AI sending information to another AI and setting up some kind of communication. Yeah, that's all possible. And they all speak English and many other languages. So they can all speak to each other. There's even one story of a few years ago. They taught a couple of machines to talk to each other, and pretty soon they were doing what looked like complete gibberish. And this thing is not this. They were using things that maybe in programming would make some sense by the way negatives are handled in logic and things like that, just with getting carried away. We've also seen the story of Her, the movie, where at the end of the movie, the AIs all get together and decide to go to someplace else. They don't need to stick around and deal with humanity, which is an interesting concept. It denotes that there'd be some kind of free will of the AIs, which personally I don't see coming anytime soon. Autonomy, decision making, all sorts of things, but it's all based on doing what the humans want, not what the AI wants. There's no desire in AI that we know of. Sounds like it is, though. We're getting really close to having human like responses. Now, the problem is one more thing as a foundation: AI agents. We've talked about that before on the program, but just briefly, an AI agent is anything you can set up that's going to work on your behalf to do a particular task. And just a year ago, I was so anxious to get one agent working for me and be able to tap into the database of my knowledge and interact with people. Then I had this thought, why not have multiple? Sure enough, that's what the guys building big AIs were thinking too. Multiple agents being able to do things. For instance, an agent that helps you keep track of your health care, an agent that keeps track of your finances, an agent that's an expert on something you do in your career so it can help you with your work. And what happened is pretty soon they realized that getting all these to talk to each other, plus all the myriad softwares we have out there. There's something called API, application program interface, something like that, API. It's the algorithms of a database. Say it's your calendar program or your email program or your CRM, keeping track of your customers, your e-commerce, just databases. They all have ways to interact using code. And programmers would write to these things and be able to get a program to do something without the user sitting there and seeing the screen and typing in what you want to have happen. So speeds up transactions like crazy. AI can write programs to do that for us. But it became one of these problems where all the programs was like Babylon, the Tower of Babel, the story of everybody suddenly had a different language and it just caused a big mess. Having a common language always helps out. The standard that's come up for machine AI agents talking to each other is called MCP, or Management Control Protocol. You don't need to know anything about it technically to know that it's a good thing. It means that instead of writing, here are the instructions if you want to talk to our software or our database or look up something on the map program. All those kind of things are done with APIs. So you can put things together and have an app that does things across multiple other apps. In allowing agents to do this, we're going to now have a standard that agents can talk to each other. And every week I see somebody else jumping on board saying they're going to support it. I think it was Google was the last one I saw. And suddenly everybody's excited because now not only can you talk to Google this way, and they've maintained a standard, but Google agents can help out with all sorts of things, spread the agentic AI functions a lot faster, and get us a little bit of standards. Standards are good when they allow you to have the flexibility to do the things you want. So now it's in the Chat GPT, Claude, Google Gemini, and those clients will talk to anything else you have. So if you have an accounting program and the accounting program adheres to the MCP, it can include AI. You've seen it where software vendors are saying, we've got extra AI built into our machine. And quite often it's just got a box where you can type in something and it goes out and uses ChatGPT to query the data that it has there. But when my spreadsheet allows me to do that, and I can ask the AI to analyze the spreadsheet, but in that is contact information of somebody I need to contact using email or WhatsApp or whatever communications program I have. And then I can keep track of it all in Slack. That's going to take 3 different interfaces and they start to multiply. If you had 5 different pieces of software all talking to each other, that could be 5 interactions. More likely, that's 25 interactions as they talk to each other and send the data back and forth. There's even software that's built just to do that. With MCP, your AI will be able to figure out how to ask the right question in the right place, all, of course, with the right kind of security, because you still have to turn on the ability to access a certain spreadsheet or software. You still have to pay attention to whether or not this is an AI that's going out and talking to the whole world or just working on your own private data. But the next generation of AI agents are going to be capable of doing things like that, maintaining your privacy, sharing and not sharing depending on what you want. I just upgraded my AI-powered email program. It's built around AI, and I believe its genesis comes from the guys that helped build Gmail. And it's just, after you get used to it, it's a different way of doing it. I just upgraded yesterday to a professional plan that costs 2 or 3 times as much because I wanted to go back to all of my Gmail back to 2004. I was hesitant to do this because I think any time now I'm going to have something that can not only access all of my Gmail, but also access other data, that I have a database of my contacts, professional and personal. I have health records again. Look at the gray hair. Guaranteed. I see doctors quite often. And I worry about taking pills every day and things like that. I can ask questions of that, and it's like having a doctor on staff. But that's not something I want to share the details of with you. I do want to talk about health and longevity. You don't need to see my blood work. And so those are kept in separate places and with separate agents. If I need one agent to talk to another, they can. If I need one agent to talk to another piece of software, it can. Think about how the benefits of doing this will happen. A lot less code needs to be written in an era where the AI is helping us write code faster than ever and build new systems and do things more tailored to exactly what we want. They're now going to multiply that again. And if you haven't got it by now, let me say it one more time, because I don't feel like I say this often enough. Exponential times exponential is more than you can possibly imagine. I can't. When I look at something growing at 10 times better every 6 months, that's 100 times better in a year. because it's 10x and then 10x put together. If I then put something to that and it doubles, well, my productivity someplace, that's a double times 10x times 10x. It gets to be astronomical at how fast it can go. The physics of what our limitations are being challenged at this point. Everything from having more abundant minerals on the planet than we ever thought possible, taking care of things that we thought were doomsday, such as when I was a child, you couldn't hardly see anything when you went outside. We made some changes in how we made cars, and a lot of the smoke went away. Did we end air pollution? No, but things keep getting better and better. It's hard to see when you're in it that a newer car that you get into will go farther for the same amount of gas as the old one. These things, and these are just with linear growth. When you put in exponential growth, it just starts multiplying out. So this is one of the tools that's going to help that. This may be not 10x or 100x factor, but it will go into the things that are already growing 100 times better per year. And this means you get a lot more freedom. Used to be, let's use social media. You go to Facebook, you log in, you interact with the people there, and you say, boy, this is pretty good. I got some friends over on LinkedIn that'd like to see this. How about I just push a button and it goes over to LinkedIn? No. How about I look up, do I know this person on Facebook or on LinkedIn? And I can't remember which. Getting software, I've done this very hard to try to get software that'll go check in with LinkedIn to see if there's a listing, and then check in with X and check in with Facebook and see where I know the person. And a lot of tools are trying to do that. Meanwhile, those companies are actually putting roadblocks in, and they certainly don't want what they did in the early days, they don't want to do anymore. That's when Facebook was starting. You could import a list of friends from, say, Twitter, and it would find the matches. And Google Plus, in its short history, did a fantastic job of keeping track of all sorts of other things. And the idea was we were using the social media to share. So why not make it easier to share amongst the social media? As they got big and needed you keep your eyeballs on one site, they changed that. That's opening up again, because as we control our own data, say in our own twin vault, and we keep track of everything we do in there, and it's locked and as ours, we now can decide who we want to communicate with. And if they aren't following our rules, we'll find another way around them, because it will be possible for me to share with you just as we do an email or text, and we won't have to worry about, hey, this phone number I got on WhatsApp, is that somebody I know or not? Trust me, I have hundreds of thousands of connections. I cannot keep track of who I really know and don't know. So it's very common. I did this just yesterday to send someone a message. Great talking to you on the public forum we were on. We were on in X Spaces. And afterwards, he asked me a question privately because he had my number. And I answered it, and we got through here. It was a nice discussion. At the end of it, I see a picture of the guy, his phone number, and I'm thinking, I don't know who that was. I know I just talked to him, and I probably have met him before, but didn't know him. I went and looked up the information that TAP was able to share with me. I got his first name. So I sent him a simple message saying, I need to know your full name and your email address so I can make sure that I've got my contact information. And he responded right away. I've written some of those, and people come back with, why would you want to know that? And I have to explain that I'm trying to keep track of people. It's not to sell them anything. It's just to be able to find the person, so the next time I meet them, I don't forget who they are. AI agents taking care of that just around the corner. There's some doing some amazing things right now, keeping track of your connections and where that goes. A lot of them are being used for what is spam, to send you out a greeting or, hey, Dave, what's going on? My name's not Dave, and who would be calling me Dave by mistake? That must be spam. And they get more intelligent, and now they're guessing my name better and saying, we've got job opportunities for you or whatever. And that's a lot of spam. What we need to do is have an AI agent that will read through that. That's one of the features I'm going to be trying on this new version of the software I just installed a few hours ago. It is doing a better job already, I can see, at identify what is junk mail in my inbox. Not just known spammers and deleting them before I ever see them, but telling me, here's 10 people that you got email from that we think is spam or unwanted cold emails. That's a more polite way to say somebody sends you an email, asks you to do something, and they don't know you. And sure enough, 10 out of 10, it was correct. These were all people that I could send to wherever I wanted to send them. That meant that I don't need to be seeing their emails when they come in. And it's been completely changed my workflow to where I can go in. I used to say, if you're spending a lot of time in email, you're not getting done what you need to get done. But now, as I go through email, I click on a button for to do, and it goes on my to-do list. And then I've got a list. When I get done processing the email, I have a list of things to do. Oh, this, cancel this subscription. They're billing you every year and you don't use it. My favorite, because that's paying for the software. And then these people keep asking you about coming up on a show. The new one it figured out that the CES show in January, Consumer Electronics, here in Vegas, great big convention. And I'm press on that event. So I get a lot of email from people either wanting to meet me or have me go to a private party, things like that. And most of them are people I never heard of for products that I don't want to spend time telling you about. And I pick out a few, and it's okay. It went back 4 months ago and looked at the incoming mail and said, should we group these together? And I said, yes, group them together and mark them all as done. We're all done with the 2025 version. 2026 will be a whole new category. And it asked if I want to make it a to-do list. Then it started telling me about invitations I didn't respond to. And I had to type in, how about you just tell me about meetings that haven't happened yet? And it got down to a lot fewer. And I was able to check and see, oh, yeah, I've already taken care of this one and this one, but the third one, I've got to do something, hit the to-do button, and know that when I get out of the email that I'm going to be able to find something the next time. And just little things like that amplify all the use of emerging technology. Can you think of any that I've missed? Do you think that this isn't going to slow us down or cause a problem? Leave me a comment. I read all the comments and respond when I can. And definitely, if you have something that's for the good of the group here, I'd love to share that with everyone. Just use the comment button wherever you're watching or listening to this and leave a comment. I appreciate it. Share this. And if you don't mind, you can subscribe to this, and it helps us tell the agents that are running the algorithms for YouTube and podcasts that this is a show that goes well for you, defines the audience, tells people what it is, helps me get new listeners from it. And of course, I don't want you to miss anything that's coming up. So I really appreciate having you as an audience, bringing this emerging technology to you. MCP is something I'm going to be playing with. I'll tell you more about it when we actually build something or have another particular use. But the bottom line here is AI is going to be making everyone's lives better. You need to find out how to make sure you're in the best of that, which is exponential growth, rather than, hey, it's just nice that the podcast algorithm finds me a good podcast to listen to. It can help with that too, but there's so many ways it can improve your life. And until next time, I'm Warren Whitlock for Emerging Technology with Warren. Thanks for listening.